Hi! Today we're having another session on bowl throwing, and this time we're going to be doing a round belly bowl. One of those great round bowls that you can put bread in to rise, mix cake batter with a whisk. It doesn't have an angle like this, it's more round. It's nice and steady on the table because it's got a wide base. This is not trimmed yet, so it's a little thick on the bottom, but this is what a round bowl is. It has a nice open area, nice wide base. I've wedged my clay. I've got my little snail going. So first thing I do is make it into a ball. Remember, this is my pivotal point. If you've been watching my other demonstrations on wedging and opening up, you know about the little pivotal point. I'll review that again for those who didn't watch the other video. The wheels, American wheels, go counterclockwise. This clay, when it's wedged up in the Japanese snail form, has a spiral that's counterclockwise. That means it's taking all the clay particles and making them line up that way. It enables them to get stretchy. So why put it like this? If you turn it upside down, you're going counterclockwise with how the wheel is going, and you're going to have more resistance in opening and centering your clay. So if you put it in the direction that it goes, you have conquered one of the biggest problems that people find trying to center. They don't know why it's hard to center, because your clay is resisting you. Here, you've got it all worked out. I got my clay in a ball, and I put it on my bat, and what I want to do is make the piece in a form that's going to be conducive to what I'm going to throw. If I were going to throw a cylinder, I would have the ball taller and narrower. If I were going to throw a plate, I would have it flatter on the bat, and of course with a bigger size bat. But I'm going to throw a medium-sized bowl. This will give you a bowl that should be a little bit less than a quart. Okay, dry hands, fast wheel. After you put the piece on, slap it on center. Slap, slap, slap. Go find my video that teaches you how to center. So I'm just going to go and quickly center my ball. I like this bowl, this round bowl shape. I like throwing it because when you throw it, it's almost like starting a cylinder. You open up and you open up square on the inside rather than a V-shaped bowl, which opens up like a real V, and it's more challenging. I'm opening up, and I'm opening up straight down with my left hand. My left hand is holding onto my right hand because I need a complete circuit. If your right hand and your left hand are not held together, then this hand is going to fly in the air. It's going to have no support. The right hand is getting support from my torso and the splash pan. And this hand has to have my right hand for support. Otherwise, it'll go like this when you open up. You don't want any back and forth movement. You want to go just straight down, so you're opening up on center. You get that support from holding on to your right hand. I don't care if it's this way or this way. And notice I keep a little sponge while I throw. I like throwing that way. So I'm opening straight down. Then I turn my hand to open across. Now, this is going to be opened up a little bit like a cylinder. So I open flat across, but I don't go too far because it's really not a cylinder. It is a bowl, but I'm opening up flat. The most important thing first is to deal with my inside base. Notice that when I use my sponge, I hold my right hand with my left hand, which is now using the splash pan as support. Otherwise, this would fly in the wind. And I compress the bottom of the piece. When you compress the bottom of your form, you won't have any S-cracks. If you don't compress the bottom, they will dry and you will get an S-crack. And an S-crack is what it sounds like. It's a crack that goes across the bottom of your pot. I like to keep my hands and my sponge clean. Now, how do we know how far down to go? Well, even an experienced potter sometimes makes that mistake, but for those of you that are learning, use a pin tool, very much like an oil dipstick for a car. You know, you put it in to see how far the oil is. Well, take your pin tool and put it in your pot and I can tell that I have about 1/4 of an inch. So for you to start off with, I would say 1/4 of an inch and a little bit more, a little bit thicker than 1/4 of an inch will be a really nice base for you to go down to for your pot. Now I'm going to start opening up the walls. The most important thing to understand is that when you throw a pot, you actually create the form from the inside, not the outside. It's your inside hand that determines the shape, and the outside hand follows along. So let's open up the pot, and we're going to slowly first open it up. Notice I'm leaning a little bit on my hand here. To open it up, I have 2 different forms here. I have a round form on the middle and a straight form on the outside. We want that. This way, by having this be straight at this point, the outside, you're giving support to that inside. What's so important is to make sure that the inside is beautiful and it has no lines, no straight edges. The most important thing to do with a bowl is to think of you being inside a balloon. You blow up this balloon, it's a nice round form, and you're inside. You don't have any flat edges. It's all round in there. Wherever you go, it's round. That's what you have to think about when you throw a bowl. That it all should be round. Even the angle bowls, they are contoured in a round form, so there are no places where it goes flat and out like that. It doesn't go like that. It goes round. So you've got to make sure that this part of the piece of the clay is dealt with, that you have no flat edges. So you go up and down the side of the pot to the center, take away all flat edges and make it all round. Keep going back and forth to the center of the bowl until it's a nice, beautiful contour. All right, now it's time to open it up a little bit more. So I'm going to go up now. And because it's a round bowl, I'm going to open it up fairly straight. I will contour it later on. Slow down the wheel. Now what's very important is you compress the rim. Always compress the rim of your pot. So I'm going to go in before I go too far and push the inside of the pot out. Push out so I have no sharp edges that I have a round form. There we go. I love the metal rib. It's sharp and it's strong and yet it's flexible. So I'm going to start at the bottom and push the clay into the rib and contour, bend the rib so I get a nice round form. You see, I was almost there before, but not really. And here I go again. Now look at your profile. I like it a little rounder, so that's my style. Now, there are thousands, there are probably millions of profile bowls that you could look at. Look at bowls, look at lots of bowls, and decide what your profile is going to be like. How round as opposed to how straight. See what I'm doing? Just a little bit and very gently. And I don't move my hand until it stops wiggling, because I've contoured, I've changed the form. I like to get rid of some of my throwing marks, so I rib it out. So I will use this rib, and notice that I'm not supporting it on the outside. I'm just using the rib. Now I'm going to use a small piece of leather, a piece of chamois, and I take a little bit of water on my compressed rim, and then I roll it. I'm a stickler for rolled rims. If I roll it back and forth, and I'll get a beautiful rim. This piece will tomorrow, it'll be nice and dry by itself slowly, and it'll pop off the bat, and I'll be ready to trim. So, make those bowls. I love throwing bowls. You will love throwing them. Make hundreds of bowls and enjoy yourself and have fun. And I'll see you for the next form.